Hey, welcome back. A bit unusual tonight. I went back through the archives, just videos that I published on YouTube of just me playing pool. Way back, 2016, I think it was June or July. And it's April. Yeah, we're going to tackle April. I told you guys I was going to knock out April and start just bouncing back and forth between advanced 8-ball and advanced 9-ball. You can see the alcohol kind of migrate its way into the situation. We're going back to the basics, and this is what pool players always do. If something's wrong with their game, they go back to the basics. Is my stance off? Is my stroke off? Is my bridge not right? Am I not getting down right? What's going on? So the first suspect is the basic. And back then, I was preparing for a tournament when I shot this video, and I don't know, I was just kind of freewheeling and just doing it, and I wasn't really thinking much about it. I was just trying to get the stroke. But you can see here I'm doing some basics wrong. So we're going to let the video roll, and you try to pick up in the basics of my pool game what I'm doing wrong. And then we'll get into figuring out how that might have changed things during the game, and we'll go over the game step by step and go from there. But yeah, we're going back, way back through the archives and to the basics. Here we go. Thanks for tuning in. I'm up here. It's not a very good camera angle, is it? But this is back when I first started making pool videos for YouTube. So I was kind of still experimenting with camera angles, views and stuff. And here's this tarp right in front of the way here. That's pretty amateurish. Alright, right from the start you can see I'm off balance. Both of these feet should be flat on the ground. This is a big amateur mistake here. You see how the sole of my foot is up and it's pushed back here for some reason. It should be over there. Your right foot should be on the line of aim with the cue. Way off balance here. And I knew this. It's just I did it anyway. I wasn't really concerned about the basics when I was making this video. But that's a big no-no. A big no-no for you. You can see right after I shoot this shot, my foot comes up. I'll show you. A lot of guys do that on the break. I don't, but on some shots I still do it. This used to be like an every shot ritual that I would take when I was young. Because I had trouble reaching the table, and I thought that would help the cue ball go in a straight line for some reason. It's just one of those bad habits, and over the years I broke the habit. But every now and then it still pops up. I really don't know what it's all about. Look at my bridge. Why is my bridge coming up? It's pretty much everything in the basics on this shot is wrong. I was jacked up. I was either trying to stop the shot or draw the shot. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want it to go any further than the object ball, which was the 8 ball. Another big no-no here is no. What a stupid word. I'm just getting down. I'm almost like halfway down as I'm getting around on the shot, and you should get behind the shot and step back a little bit and get that line of aim penetrated in your brain and get down on that line of aim while you're balanced and while both feet are flat. You see how I'm moving my feet around after I'm getting down? You don't do that. And the last thing you want to do is get down wrong and then start adjusting stuff when you get down. The best thing to do is to stand right back up and step back again and then step into that line of aim. Nothing should move once you get down on the ball except your stroke arm. Now I do get back up to get back down on the line of aim because I got down wrong because I kind of rushed it as I got down. But I didn't stand back up and I didn't step back and I didn't step back into the line of aim. I knew it was wrong, and I stood up like halfway and got back down again. I'm shooting stripes here. I'm playing 8-ball. And you can see I'm still kind of rushing getting down. I'm not getting behind the ball and stepping back and penetrating that line of aim into my brain. My hand here is way far back on the cue. I'm not sure why. I didn't need a big long follow through here. I have a better stance, that's for sure. This combination, and it's not a straight in combination. I have to kind of maneuver this. I think it's a 9-ball. I'm going off the 14 into the 9. So that was a little tricky, and that could have been a disaster. Here, this ball should have been drew up a little bit close. The 8-ball's down here. This should have been drew. I just rolled up on it and shot it weak and took the long shot when there was really no sense in doing that. You don't want the cue ball getting over here, and that's why you would draw it and hold it against this rail here. I could have got a lot closer to this 8. And you see, I'm still not getting down right, and that's the big issue here is when you're walking around, you're already bending down to get on the next ball, and you positively have to get behind the ball, behind the cue ball and the line of aim to the object ball. Step back, take a good look at it, and get down on that line. It's interesting here. After probably over a year of posting 9-ball videos, and I'm back to it's like dating an ex-girlfriend. It's like, whoa, what are we doing back here? This is again the summer of 2016, and I was preparing for a tournament. I do remember that I wasn't preparing right because I should have went back to the basics, but I didn't. You see how soft I rolled that ball up? That was kind of dumb. All I had to do is draw and bounce off this rail and just draw it a little bit. It's kind of tricky. You don't want to draw too much, but there's no reason to have a 7-foot shot here when I could have had a 3-foot shot easily. That time was better. Need some liquids. Thank you for watching. That's going back to the basics. I'm sure a lot of you new players out there will appreciate that. And maybe some of the old players too. Like I said, we're always going back to the basics, and maybe your basics got off, and maybe this video will remind you to get back on it. Or maybe there's a piece of information in here that you never learned, and you're like, well, hey, I'm gonna try what John just said, and maybe that's why I'm not as consistent as I can be. Anyway, thanks again. I really do appreciate you guys. We're going to be doing more 8-ball videos, 9-balls as always, and even banks. Even banks are coming up. Thanks again. I hope you like my new studio. It's getting there. It's not finished. Yeah, here's where we sit and watch the big screen and drink and play guitars and be old men degenerates. Thank you, folks. Bye.